Behold, the rebirth of the LA Galaxy is at hand. UCLA's former defensive coordinator has passed away, and there are jobs to be earned on the Rams' offensive line. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and start for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is May 31st, 2023, but as far as I'm concerned, it may as well be 1996. I'm in a terrific mood. Chris Klein is out as president of the LA Galaxy. We added multiple subscribers to the Angelino familia. Thank you. I appreciate every last one of you. And if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yeah, comment. If you like soccer, today is the day. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Dodgers 9, Washington 3. Freddie Freeman goes 4 for 5 with a home run. JD Martinez has homered in 3 consecutive games. Meanwhile, today, Washington is at the Dodgers at 1. Noah Syndergaard is 1-4, 6.27 ERA. Patrick Corbin, 4-5 with a 4.88 ERA. The Galaxy are playing tonight. Yeah, already. They're at Real Salt Lake at 6:30. Chicharito can't play tonight. That's a result of a red card that he got in his last match. The Galaxy have not won on the road, nor have they scored in 3 consecutive MLS matches. LAFC is at León at 7 o'clock. It's the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions League final down in Mexico. LAFC is looking to make 2 consecutive MLS winners in Champions League, and we're going to talk more about that in minutes, but we absolutely have to get to the Galaxy. Use whatever cliche you want. Resurrection. Phoenix rising from the ashes. I don't care. Because the Galaxy now have removed basically a tumor that was just overriding everything. They finally fired Chris Klein, their team president. And yesterday I posted a breaking news clip on the Galaxy playlist that listed 9 reasons why Chris Klein absolutely had to go. 9. And that was literally just from the start of the year. 9 things have happened since then that deserved his dismissal. So I don't want to go through all 9 all over again. But if you want to know the most basic deets, here's the deal. The Galaxy are currently the worst team in MLS. There's a fan boycott that demanded that he get fired. And that boycott cut fan attendance by 10 to as much as 15%. The Galaxy also cannot acquire players overseas to upgrade the roster during the summer because the league sanctioned them. All of that and much, much more happened under Chris Klein's watch. Now, the decision to cut Klein was made after a series of meetings on Tuesday morning. That is according to the LA Times. The current structure of the Galaxy is that manager Greg Vanney is controlling everything and will report directly to Anschutz Entertainment Group's CEO, Dan Beckerman. Now, who replaces Klein, that's anyone's guess, because the owners, AEG, tried to do the same thing with the Galaxy that they have done with the LA Kings. Look at the Kings. They're all run by former players. Rob Blake, Luke Robitaille. Worked like a charm up there, didn't work with the Galaxy. So Beckerman has to ask himself, where the hell do I go from here? I have guesses, but I'm going to be real with you. I'm not an MLS insider. These guesses are based on very little other than the history of AEG. Because to say that firing Klein is a one-step fix is not accurate, and it doesn't absolve Beckerman of his role in literally pulling apart the Galaxy either. If you recall, it was Beckerman who either ordered Chris Klein or single-handedly authored the Galaxy to slash their payroll by $10 million prior to the start of the 2017 season. And the Galaxy just haven't been the same since, even though they have wasted millions of dollars after that in the process. For that matter, which also may be on Klein and or on Beckerman, former Galaxy player and current ESPN analyst Herculez Gomez reminded us that nobody knows whose roles are for what in the Galaxy front office. What role does this guy have? Does that guy have? Nobody knows. And if there's no clear chain of command, that is on leadership. So all we know for sure at this moment is that Vanny is running the show, and that 20 minutes after Klein got fired, the Galaxy ticket sales department sent out sales pitches to all the fans. 20 minutes. Body isn't even cold yet. And that too is on Dan Beckerman. So Beckerman is tasked with finding the replacement. He's not a soccer guy. He's not even a hockey guy. Hell, he's not even a Coachella or Stagecoach guy. You think he's the one putting out the concert lineup? Of course not. He is a numbers guy. That is his background, business administration. This is why he trusted former Kings players, and it's why Klein had such a long leash. So what does he do? Well, here's what could happen. He could ask Vice President Will Kuntz, who helped build LAFC, to take the gig, but that's a little odd. Kuntz was only hired a month and a half or so ago, right? So the guy's benefits, for Pete's sake, haven't kicked in. You're going to make him run the whole show, and he hasn't even gotten his Kaiser Permanente card yet? Really? I think that's a bit of a stretch. And besides that, Kuntz, like Beckerman, is a numbers cruncher. You need somebody who knows personnel. Does Kuntz get asked instead, hey, who would you like to work for as your president? Doesn't that seem a little awkward to be told you're not good enough, but who would you like to have be your boss? Isn't that a little strange? So I don't think that's happening either. But there is an option that Beckerman could go. He could try the same thing again. Hire a former Galaxy player with front office experience. Now, if Beckerman does, there's a guy who fits the bill. There really is. It's Landon Donovan. Now, I'm not making a prediction. Again, I have no idea. But this is based on AEG history. Donovan has put together USL teams in San Diego, competitive ones at that. And that is the same USL team, the Loyal, that just got steamrolled by MLS when MLS awarded an expansion franchise to San Diego. Would no longer being the only game in San Diego, would that inspire Donovan to reconsider his role with the Loyal? Does Donovan have enough MLS contacts to know who would make an ideal MLS manager? Who would make an ideal scout, a GM, an analytics department? I don't know. For that matter, Beckerman has a fourth option. Maybe he does want to go outside the Galaxy family. But he's not a soccer guy. So if he does, guess who he has to ask for intel? His best bet? Former Galaxy players. He would actually have to swallow his pride and ask Herculez Gomez, for example. He would have to ask Alexi Lawless. He would have to ask other people with smarts in the game who is the best type of president to lead the Galaxy into the future. Whoever does get the gig, whether it's a process that takes a month or until the rest of the year, know this, that person is likely going to bring a big broom into the office. Because why would you keep people in that front office who have clearly undefined roles? Why? You'd rather bring in your own people that you trust. After all, it's your future. You want your people. So as for the immediate future of the Galaxy, what happens until another president comes in? The options will depend now on how secure Vanny feels in his job. If he feels super secure, or if a new president gets hired quickly and says, Vanny is my guy, then Vanny could, in theory, rip the entire team straight down to the foundation. Because it is true that the Galaxy cannot add players in the summer transfer portal, but it is damn true that they can get rid of players in the summer transfer portal. Now, I don't know how many players you could theoretically get rid of, but yeah, you could get rid of them. Also, both the contracts of Chicharito and Douglas Costa are off the books at the end of the year. So you could actually make a very quick rebuild with financial space and 2 designated player spaces wide open. So is it possible the Galaxy could rocket back up to title relevance by this time next year? Possible. It is. Meanwhile, just hours before Klein got the heave-ho, reports surfaced that winger Douglas Costa is facing arrest warrants back in his native Brazil for allegedly not paying alimony and or child support. Is that cause and effect? Did Costa's legal woes lead to Klein getting the axe? Now, I don't have any idea. But the Galaxy are paying him $4 million a year, and he has almost as many red cards as he does goals ever since he came to LA back before last season started. Good luck, by the way, Costa, because depending on what the court documents say, you might have as many arrest warrants as you do MLS goals. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Bill McGovern, a longtime NFL assistant coach who last worked a sideline as UCLA's defensive coordinator, died early Tuesday morning. McGovern, 60, died of cancer. We do not know what type of cancer. It also was not made clear that cancer was the reason that McGovern missed 5 games with UCLA last year. McGovern coached for 6 colleges, 3 NFL teams. He became friends with UCLA coach Chip Kelly when they both coached the Philadelphia Eagles. Kelly was the head coach. McGovern coached outside linebackers. Kelly hired him in 2022, and in the early part of the season, UCLA did, in fact, improve on defense. They were allowing about 26 points per game, which is not great, but it's useful. And UCLA returned to the top 10 for the first time in years. Now, when McGovern was sidelined with an injury that was undisclosed, probably the cancer, but we don't know for sure, the defense immediately regressed. They started to allow more than 30 points a game, and the season just basically ended with McGovern on the sidelines again. The Bruins fell to Pittsburgh in the Sun Bowl. Now, soon after that, McGovern was moved to an administrative role and kept his salary. The Bruins hired DeAnton Lynn as his replacement. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention something that's a little cold-blooded. I repeatedly assailed UCLA for moving McGovern to an office gig at his full salary. He made about $900,000 per season, whether he was on the sidelines or not. And for that, to be honest, I'm not going to apologize. It's $1 million almost in the public's money, your money, any California resident's money went to pay Bill McGovern, and nobody knew exactly what his job was. And nobody said why he was sidelined. There was no transparency with UCLA. If they were more transparent, then maybe I'd tell you, okay, he's battling cancer. They want to make sure he's got this, that, and the other, and we all make our decisions based on that. But we didn't have the information. So no, I'm not going to apologize for that. McGovern leaves behind a wife and 3 kids. There's 100 days until the NFL season begins. Now, according to reports, the only offensive line spot locked down for the Rams is right tackle Rob Havenstein. Everything else up for grabs. Now, if you recall, 6 offensive linemen didn't finish last season due to injury. Matthew Stafford, was hit 63 times in 9 games before he was sidelined the rest of the season with a spinal cord bruise. With a record like that, why would anybody on that offensive line be guaranteed a job? You're better off just listing the battles across the offensive line and see what shakes out. I have no idea what the Rams line is going to look like. At left tackle, the battle is between Joe Noteboom and Alaric Jackson. Left guard, it's rookie Steve Avila, Noteboom, or Jackson. Center, it's going to be Coleman Shelton versus Brian Allen. Right guard, it's Logan Bruss, maybe it's Shelton, maybe it's Tremaine Ankrum. Now, what Jordan Rodriguez of The Athletic noticed about the group is they're much bigger. The Rams got bigger on their line. It's not the biggest in the league, mind you, but it is bigger. It's hard to judge anything else, though, right now, because in OTAs, you're not hitting. So the Rams are not run blocking, and the Rams are not pass protecting. We just don't know. 4th round pick, quarterback Stetson Bennett is still learning the basics of Sean McVay's offense, which is fine. He's probably 3rd on the depth chart. I mean, there are reports that free agent signee Brett Rippon might top Bennett on the depth chart as number 2. In the meantime, Bennett is getting additional instruction from both Stafford and Rippon. Bennett credits Stafford for remembering what it was like to be young and dumb. Quote, I got to learn the basics, the plays, the formations, the protections, to where you've got to start getting cerebral with it, right? The Rams also have the fewest number of players in the NFL on any team, 86. You can have as many as 90 during the offseason. As of now, though, only 72 players are under contract because the Rams are up against the salary cap. They only have about $1.75 million left in cap space. You know who they haven't signed? None of their draft picks. They haven't signed any of their draft picks. Even their top pick, Avila. What they did do, though, is sign wide receiver Tyler Johnson, who played for Houston, also won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. MLS Cup winning LAFC is heavily favored now to win the Champions League. And I don't have much of a problem with that. But did Timothy Tillman, the midfielder for the Black and Gold, step in some deep doo-doo? He was at a press conference and said, quote, Mexican teams really don't play that tactically. It's more or less emotional. It's all about fighting, all about the emotions. Dude. You do realize you just insinuated that Mexican players are stupid, right? The players and the coaches, that they're dumb? I mean, I root for the United States whenever they play Mexico, but even I wouldn't call the Mexican players or coaches stupid. They don't just win games based on passion and luck. Come on. Sports Illustrated and the Belcher Report are reporting that the Chargers have made overtures to free agent edge rusher Leonard Floyd, who last played with the Rams. Floyd recorded 8.5 sacks last year for the Rams. But again, I don't know how strong the rumors actually are. We'll have to wait and see. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Where is your path for the Galaxy to regain its former stature in MLS? Where do you think the Rams would look at for offensive line? And by the way, what did you think of Bill McGovern running UCLA's defense? And if you enjoyed talking LA sports, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We might be back later tonight with a Galaxy Rapid Recap after Real Salt Lake. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.